What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself podcast. I'm Charlie Perry, and along with Coach N100, we are here once again. This was it week 4?
Yeah, week
I think.
4, man.
All right. So, well, I glad to be here. Beautiful day in south coast of Massachusetts. Beautiful sunny day, and enjoying it. And that's it. But so what's up, Coach? You got an intro for me, man?
Actually, I do. First off, I got a present for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, showing love to all the folks.
Christmas in May.
Yeah, kind of like that. East Coast and all my East Coast folks I love so much. So, what I'm drinking out of today. You see that?
Oh, nice. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I I uh I actually got to get back into making my mugs.
I
Uh,
love my mugs, man.
but I don't know if you can see
Okay.
that. But this is another
Okay.
Dunkin' cup.
This is actually, I think this is a Pete's cup. You ever been to Pete's?
Mm-hmm.
Pete's is good coffee.
Yes.
Starbucks is still probably the best, but you know, depends on what you want to taste and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do have a couple things. Before we get started.
What's up,
First,
Derek?
how was your weekend?
Oh,
How was your Mother's Day with your wife?
Mother's Day was great. We went to the Lighthouse Tavern.
Okay.
Was able to eat some great food. And we hung out all day. And some good Cape Verdean music. So it was a great atmosphere, and I was very happy with it. And then we went out and topped off the day with some ice cream
Nice.
from Cold Stone,
Okay.
and so it was pretty good. And I mean, the missus said it. It was pretty good. My mom, she took off. She went to Foxwoods, hung out with my brother, um, and for a couple of days, and his wife, and so that was good. Um, and but a great Mother's Day.
It's
So,
great.
what was yours? How did you, you know, do the state to state thing with your mom?
Well, couldn't do much state to state. I was in LA, and of course she's in Henderson, Nevada.
Okay,
But we talked. We talked a couple times, and hung out with the daughter.
great.
Um, so it was a great day, man. It was very peaceful.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
piece is always good, peaceful, and just kind of laid back. I didn't have to do much work that day, so yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. It was good. Um, it really capped off my weekend because Friday night was this big, I said big giant spades party that I went to.
Oh, nice.
I play spades.
Yes, I do. I like the game. I actually learned how to play spades in Los Angeles. Didn't
Ah, huh.
I didn't touch it too much when I was back home, and
Right.
you know what? In LA, you got to stay busy, and
Hey, stay busy.
one of the things that we learned, either sitting in the house or sitting under the tree, played some spades, some dominoes, and
Yeah, Domino's is popular out here too. Real
mhm.
popular.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's where I first got a taste of it.
yeah.
Was in
How
LA.
long ago was this, Charlie?
That was 1979, 80 to 82.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. This guy I know, good brother of mine, Melvin.
Mm,
Um,
yep.
he invited me to another spades party,
Oh,
um,
nice.
which is always good because you get that vibe and that camaraderie.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's why I was telling you guys to see that movie, and
Yeah.
you understand I'm talking about the camaraderie and when people get together and just do spades. It's just people just there just showing love to each other. That's what this is all about. So it was great. I had an amazing time because I'm always meeting different people, always playing with somebody different. Um, so it was great.
Yeah, it's something about cards and my great grandfather and my older cousins. They all played, and I think it's Big Whisk. I forget the name of it, but it's a Creole game, and
Mm.
they played it for hours and very, very competitive.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
a lot of these games are pretty competitive for sure,
hmm
and no doubt this was competitive, but it was a lot of fun in it because not only you passing cards around the room, you're passing around stories around the room, so which is pretty cool.
yeah, exactly. Um, Derek Consatio from Straight to the Point Sports Talk on WNB1 Radio. What's up,
Uh,
man? I
hey,
see
Derek, how
you.
you doing, buddy?
Appreciate you, and appreciate everyone on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Um, all right, Coach, you are going to be a first-time author,
Yes, sir.
so let's talk about your book, man.
Yeah, before we go into that, something I wanted to share, something that's been on my mind lately.
Sure.
Um, before we go into um, why I wrote the book. So
Yep.
we'll go into that after this, unless you have any other questions. You always got the best questions. So um, this one I wrote this on Facebook 14 years ago on
hmm
this day, 14 years ago. And it kind of goes into kind of what I was thinking. Um, and it kind of goes into why I wrote the book. I didn't know, I forgot that I wrote this so long ago. Um, it says, the best advice I was ever given was to look for the best in others, even if it's not present in the moment.
Mm.
Oftentimes, we experience a snowball effect if we seek out faults in others. You can look for the best in others. Is it easy? No, but it works. So, when I think about that, I think about sometimes people in general. Like, you can have one thing, you see something with somebody, and it's kind of a snowball effect. Like, it could be anything. And then we're in a time where everything's so fast now, where it gives a cumulative effect, right?
Yes.
Like I was saying before, we are always programmed along the way. It could be something. It could be a billboard that you pass by every day, and the billboard could be Dunkin' Donuts. What do you think is going to happen within probably the next week or two? You'll probably get a Dunkin' Donuts, right?
Yep.
We allow ourselves to be programmed by others or whatever. Sometimes it's best just to reprogram ourselves. So I was thinking about that. I was like, man, it's like we deal this thing of looking and judging. We always look outer, but my thing is that when can we start to focus on inner space,
Mm.
our inner self, and be self aware of that? And yeah, and like I said, it's not easy. It's funny I said that 14 years ago. It's not easy. Sometimes it's about reprogramming ourselves. There's many things you can do, right? There's this thing, I don't know if you ever heard, it's called segment intending.
hmm
You ever heard of that?
No.
So each segment you go to, you already go into how you want it to be, right? And it could be something real quick. It could be somebody you just met, an interaction somewhere. I'm gonna go in and get a coffee, and you can go in there and I'm like, am I gonna go in and get a coffee? Am I gonna be a pinhead? Am I gonna be a nice person? You can kind of alter your state by going into that, and really can change how things work and line up for you, right? That's why I say this whole inner space thing. And I think about that. I think about, I'll give an overview and then I'm going to read it. Why I wrote this book is to help people. And it could be a needle in a haystack. Somebody didn't think they needed help. We will all lose someone close to us.
Yep.
It's inevitable. And you're not going to escape that. And so if you can give somebody something along the way, it's going to help them. Why not do it? I get this whole thing Well, we're all taught this day and time, think about self and all that. Yeah, you can do that, but there's still duality of that. Duality is that we really need each other. We really need each other all the time. So I just feel, in my opinion, it's good to be mindful of that, judge people and all that. You have seen it so often. I'd say the past, 5, 6 years is even more than ever. Got the jab, you didn't get the jab. I'm mad you didn't do 6 feet. It's the constant judgment thing. It's like you got one side of this, one side of this, and people really bring a lot of vitriol behind it, which really doesn't help people collectively. I'm going to read this, that we can go and I'm going to read why I wrote this book. And I gave you an excerpt, Charlie.
Yep.
This book was written because something happened that didn't just break me. It shattered everything. It ripped away the woman I love. It pulled the floor from under my life. It destroyed what I thought I knew about love, faith, strength, even myself. This isn't a story about healing that came easy. This is about the kind of grief that destroys you completely, then hands you the pieces and dares you to start over. I wish I had been fully self-aware what I was going through early on. I wasn't, but I'm here now. I'm writing this at the most vulnerable point ever. I consider myself a proud, shy man. Never again. I'm pouring my heart out with the hope that it helps you through your most challenging time ever. If you ever lost someone or something so deeply that you no longer recognize the person in the mirror, this book is for you. It has been cracked upon by death, heartbreak, trauma, and life itself. This is your permission to feel it, face it, and rise anyway. Because grief will break you, and if you let it, it will also rebuild you.
So
is there, brother?
So deep, and inspirational, right? Because, like you said, loss affects us all,
Right.
and as it affects us all, that means that we have company. We have company that went through some of the things that you went through, or I went through, and so when you have company, words like you just read become inspirational because someone may have not reached the point that you have, and they need something to kind of push them ahead or make them rethink of what's going on, and then eventually they push ahead.
Yeah.
And it's and I don't want anyone to take it offense when I say push ahead,
Right.
because where you're at and that loss may be the only mindset that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if that's the case, and that's where you want to stay, I get it. Because I'm not going to tell anybody how to deal with their grief.
Absolutely.
But being inspirational is just, even if it's for a moment or for the rest of their lives. Those words were inspirational. So,
no, thank you, Charlie. I don't know. I try to click the easy button, right?
mm-hmm.
Sometimes the easy button, just do better, be better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's really, if you're out here and you can make a difference all the time. This is the thing we talk about: outer space to inner space. The inner space part can be like, well, what can I do? It could be somebody you've never met before. You just smile at them.
Mm-hmm.
Really, from a basic level, I wrote this thing to try to be a part of the solution, right? And so you're at this point where you're solving problems. Mortality rates are astronomical, as I've shared before. People a lot of times just don't get back to themselves. You're probably never gonna be yourself anyway. But you never
Yeah.
know what side of you could be flourishing, what side you can do that. Doesn't take away the fact that somebody you love is left. All
Hmm.
go through that. Doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. All it really means at the end of the day is that what can you be defined as besides somebody that lost somebody? I think
Yeah.
you're far more potential than that. Yeah, that doesn't go away though. It doesn't mean it goes away. Doesn't mean you need to get over. I'll never ever say that. 'Cause I hear people say that. This is one of the things I wanted to do was kind of unpack that statement.
Hmm.
Well, what do you mean? You're supposed to just suppress it? How good is that? You got something really bad that's just festering in your subconscious. No, it is a part of your life. It's a part of your life moving forward if you choose to. But like everything else in life, you have options, and you're still here. You still have a purpose. You are awesome. You're amazing.
Hmm.
There's so much more to you that the world still gets to have you. I don't care what you do, how you look, all that stuff is like you're a gift to this world, and so you can refill yourself up slightly and get on about your life. Really, that's what it boils down to, man.
It we as you engage with others, um, very very similar. Oh, well, let me fact. Have you met others in a similar situation?
Oh, absolutely. One of my friends, he lost his wife like that I've known for 20 some years. He
Hmm.
lost his wife about a month before Kristen passed.
Okay.
I've joined a lot of groups, talked to a lot of people. Uh, I've vetted this. I've done, my research, and I've also seen other people. I've seen this my whole life. First time I saw a grown man really cry, I mean, like really cry,
Hmm.
was my uncle
Yeah.
when my aunt died when I was 17 years old. I put that in the book. That story behind that, seeing a grown man cry. Didn't know. I didn't see that a lot growing up. Men being showing some level of emotions, right?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I've seen it constantly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've seen this my whole life, and it's sad to see how he is,
Hmm.
but then it's also sad to it's also sad to see what he went through. And then on top of that, being that she's my aunt, that makes it even worse too. And
Yeah.
she was the most amazing person. I want to share a little bit about her while we're on the subject.
Sure.
She was like a second mom to me.
Hmm.
Most amazing woman. And I saw, as opposed to what you have this day and time, I saw how much she loved her husband. That's beautiful to me, man.
Hmm.
You talking about this um, joining of energies, masculine and feminine, and it is the most beautiful thing because it's woven into the fabric of this universe. You know what I'm saying? And to see that how much she still had a part of herself, but as much as she loved my uncle, man,
Yes.
that's just it's just you think about being grateful of seeing that. And I felt that was part of my vibration and seeing and feeling that and seeing that. It becomes very wishful for me. And then I met, Kristen, who was the fabric of that. You all may have known her as a great relative,
Hmm.
great friend, but I knew her as a great person and a
Yeah.
great wife. And, you know, I would take these two and write a book on that, because some of those attributes are like so critical this day and time. Less people are married, less people are together,
Hmm.
and people got this thing these days where I got to hold back a little bit of myself. Like, you just let yourself just be to your potential, be to you are. You don't have to change a damn thing for anything about you. You are who you are, and that's just beautiful in itself. And so, these things along the way, Charlie. While I saw my aunt die, I experienced the wonderful things and the wonderful attributes. The things I didn't understand back then, I just saw her as this amazing woman, always showed me love, right?
Yes.
You get older, and you're like, well, not only is she's an incredible wife. You saw it, and then you experience it that yourself, man. Those things become part of your makeup. That's one of those things that you getting programmed to understand how things are programmed in a certain way. It just feels right. And at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, program is really is about what you feel, and you feel right. You do stuff because it doesn't take too far to get to love, man. It just doesn't. It's always there. We put a bunch of things in front of it: hate, contempt, all these other things, bitterness, judgment, all this other stuff. And so, yeah, man, that's just where I'm at, man. It's just so. Thank you. It's a great crap. I have experienced it, but as we live in this world of duality, I have experienced it on both sides.
That's cool. Um, I'm glad that somebody like your friend has um you as an outlet, and you as him. You him for you as being an outlet also. Maybe we get stymied by different things, and just want to see what's going on in the other four walls, and to get you through it. Um,
Men don't like to talk about this stuff, though.
yeah, yeah, and it's I
I know
think
I didn't.
yeah, and but I think he's I'm assuming he's talking about it now.
Not really.
No,
It
wow.
was after I reached out to him a couple times, and he told me straight up he was going to call me.
Hmm.
He wound up, he did, which is great, but is no pressure when people are ready. There are a bunch of people I reached out to in terms of, hey, I know what you're going through and time you need to talk. And so what I can do is hold the space for them along the way for whatever. It could be something you want to get on, just yell. You want to get on, be quiet. You want to get on and have a quiet moment. Man, sometimes you just got to hold the space for people, man. And that's the part I'm talking about. Is like, man, we're all connected, and so if you can look at somebody you don't really know and do something for, that speaks volumes to your whole makeup, man. And it's like sometimes people just need that, man. I mean, again, let's click or push the easy button here. Sometimes people just need that little bit of love, man. That's just
Mm.
it's not much, and so I'm hoping I've reached out, talk to people that they're feeling the level of love. I think about going through this, the love that I got, man. I mean, it's been I'm very grateful for it.
Did you forget how to love?
Oh, that's a great question. No, absolutely. When you talk about that, are you talking on a personal level, or are you talking about on a macro level?
Mm. Yeah, it could be either or, but let's start with personal.
That's a great question, Charlie. And I'm grateful for your question. I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I haven't really put the effort out there.
Hmm.
That's just the reality of it. I think some of it's I'm very fulfilled where I'm at. And
Good.
when I met Kristen, before I met her, I shared some of the story with you. I'm really big on not doing things from a point of desperation.
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to meet somebody before I met Kristen, but I was like, whatever. I was like, I'll just continue to go through life. But also, just like that whole thing we talked about, segment intending, kind of what you expect things to happen without constantly feeding that energy of want. Sometimes you just got to just let things fall into place. Um, and so I wrote on a piece of paper what I wanted from someone. I went down the ocean. I was letting the currents come in and out, and I bought a stone.
Hmm.
It matched exactly where. And I mean, it's just we live in such a world where we get to control our own destiny sometimes once we can get out of our own way. And so I hold the space in my heart to meet someone else and grow with them. Absolutely, man. Um, I mean, as a matter of fact, that was one of the instructions from Krista to have someone in my life. But I also look at it as when it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. But I still got a lot left in my tank,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
doubt. And I have seen it. I've experienced it. I think I know how to treat a woman well. I don't think I have any doubt on that. And I think I know what it's like to be treated well.
Yes.
Those things are kind of a non-negotiable. You know what I'm saying? But that's a great thing. I think a part of going through this, especially from a male perspective, is to be out there and be with others again. I had I had specific instructions on that from Kristen. Others may not, but I think it comes to the same conclusion. And I think if you want to look at it from a religious standpoint, uh, whatever religion you're in, is talk about it's not good for a man to be alone.
Hmm.
So that's a fact, and there's many passages that you can find that. Um, but again, I won't do anything to compromise this whole thing. I think to myself is like, you know what? I gotta just settle or just allow myself to be treated in a kind of way. No, man, no, that's important. It's important how you treat yourself is just most important thing. I think anything you gain in your life, you still have to do the work for yourself to make sure you're in a good place all the way around, and other people will come in your life. It's an added benefit, not a something that detracts you from that.
Exactly. The I I I have a couple of questions. I had one on the screen, but I think you touched up on that, so I'm kind of we're gonna bypass that one.
Anything, man. I'm open book.
All right. Let's see. Let's give you this one. In what ways is your book going to help others?
I was somebody that I would never talk about things that bothered me or things I was going through. There's just no way in hell, man. I was like, hey, I'm a proud man, and sometimes you just got to just tough it through. And one of the things that helped me was to really talk about this and talk about just being where you're at. And I think, why would someone not say? Because you've been programmed to be a certain way by something. It could be your own thoughts that are
Hmm.
portraying you, right? Well, you don't need to say that because other people are going to think this and that. I could care less.
Yeah.
I already know the things I've done, the things I've put out just from the start has helped people. And to me, that's beyond rewarding. It kind of fills me back up. So an opportunity to be a part of the solution, help people out is, I mean, I've been at this thing for a long time trying to help people. Sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I really don't want to.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I feel like people are beyond selfish to a fault, not because you need to do things to build yourself up, but and it feels good. It does feel good. If you went out here, Charlie, every day, and you paid it forward, not to your wife, not somebody you know, but complete strangers every single day, right? This is what we talk about programming.
Yes.
You could program yourself to feel some kind of way. Like you feel like you're a part of something. It could be somebody you don't know. You know, obviously you like to go into Dunkin' Donuts, right?
Yes.
Okay. Try this for a week if you want. If you go there, or maybe the next several times you go there, spot something that somebody does well, and tell the manager.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you never know how you could have impacted that day somebody else. It could be that day. Hey, this is the day it was going to end their life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's just a look. You feel so much more connected to something greater than you.
Yeah.
It's not about just always doing something for people you know and love and all that. Sometimes it's that person that you don't know. Put a smile on your face. Hold the
Mm-hmm.
door open. Do the and that's what I feel to my soul, man. Like I said, I don't know why. I just feel like it's something that I feel like I'm called to do.
Yeah. So most people have, well, all people have a choice of sending out a signal, an expression, and you can walk by someone and give them a smile
Hmm.
or a frown or look at them and put your head down or just gracefully turn away from them. And I say gracefully because some people just don't know how to speak to others.
Yeah.
And they kind of
Well,
shy away.
last time you were on the elevator and you spoke to everybody on the elevator.
Yeah. Probably several years. Might have talked to the person right next to me.
I understand. Yeah,
Or
that's what I'm
I'll,
saying.
I'll play the joke on Michelle, and
Mhm.
um, I might blurt out, "Excuse me, I can't give you my number. I'm married." Say something stupid like that.
Yeah, I love that. Got
you
it.
know,
Joy and laughter, right? How many
yeah.
times you laughed today, Charlie?
A whole bunch today. Today was
That's
one of those days.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. And your body feels better from it. Man, this is what I'm telling you. This is the stuff that's put all in this book about. At the end of the day, if they take one thing from this book, man, you owe it to yourself to feel better by any means necessary. Laugh, find something that's joyous. If you can get yourself a cup of coffee, do something that you enjoy. Do something that you can look at. I mean, you don't really have to go far. We got abundance everywhere, man. We
Hmm.
have. When last time you woke up in your room and you were grasping for air because there's no more air in the room? You go outside, and this time of year, it was beautiful up in New England, right? Everything's blossoming. I mean, you got the birds chirping and all that. I mean, and I'm not trying to be out in my field. I'm saying sometimes it's very simple. You owe it to yourself more than anything to feel good all the time. And I got to tell you, I don't know where this message comes from. Maybe it comes way from the other side. But you owe it to yourself, man, and not being that sick. Because listen, I've been there, and because I've seen the extremes. I've seen the bad shape. I had to make a decision whether I'm gonna make it or not. I went
Hmm.
into that whole funk that a lot of people go through once you lose a spouse. You hear it on TV. You hear it all the time on TV or social media. Yeah, so and so passed. A couple months later, some people it's the same day. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
you owe it to yourself to feel better. And it could be somebody you lost is close to you. Yeah, a part of the whole process is that you go through it all. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time to feel crappy, and you shouldn't fight it. It should be something natural over time. Especially if you know you've been someplace for a certain period of time where you just, man, I'm feeling crappy for a long time. At some point, something pops up in you, and hopefully, the folks around you or a group or something, they're gonna embrace you. Hey, come with me. And I think people need that.
Yeah.
I know I needed it, honestly. And I fought like hell. I was like, man, I gotta keep this thing moving. Luckily, I was busy with a couple of things to keep me going. I think that's the whole thing. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, tones and frequencies.
Yeah.
When I think about, I was able to rely back on some of the music that I listened to growing up in the '70s.
Still got it there, right?
What's that?
I still got it on the screen. Check it out.
Yeah.
It that left a mark on me talking about that during the podcast.
Right.
Kind of made me be more aware of
Mhm.
frequencies and tones within myself. Coach, I want to ask you this question. What was the identity shift for you? And you sort of mentioned it in the beginning of the podcast, but I just want to hear it again.
Are you talking about going through what I have been going through?
Yeah, what was your identity shift once the grief had hit you? Where was it? Where did it place you from going from a man well, to me, you had everything, right? You had everything, and that was your wife, and she had you.
Mm-hmm.
So losing your everything and being that compassionate man that I seen, and you working for your foundations, and working throughout the area of LA and with the homeless, and just giving yourself to so many people. Was that your identity shift? Did you lose that?
No, I don't think I think I gained a couple things. I mean, believe it or not, right? I
Hmm.
think one of the realizations is no matter what you're going through, somebody's got it worse. Some got it better too, but some got it worse, right?
Hmm.
And I think sometimes come to that realization. Sometimes you be grateful for what you have. So I think a lot of gratitude and all that. I think was kind of where I was. Another thing that hit me was like, if this thing's gonna work out for you, you're gonna do the heavy lifting.
Hmm.
That's the reality. There was no cavalry coming to pick me off the couch and get me to a better place. People
Yeah.
tried to be servants to me,
Hmm.
but you start to realize, you got to row your own damn canoe, man. I think sometimes that's a hard reality people are faced with, right? I saw I saw a glimpse of that, and I talk about this in the book where, you know, Kristen was so much for so many people throughout her life. She went through a lot of judgment. I remember one of the things she asked me to do is to not judge her.
Hmm.
I didn't know what the hell she meant by that.
And that, if I remember correctly, that was in the beginning, right?
Yeah, that was in the beginning. So it was like, it's like, man, and I saw um, some people enjoyed her like an elixir of love.
Hmm.
But I think once they didn't feel that elixir of love, some things became very one sided.
Hmm.
And seeing that, and I'm like, well, damn, if that can happen to her, damn well it can happen to me.
True.
So, yeah, I realized along the way, it's like, hey, listen, I knew how it works, man. It's like, you do your research and see it where I think some others have talked about, especially losing a child or something, at some point people are moving on with their lives, and you're still stuck in that bad place. So,
Yeah.
so you gotta kind of pick yourself up and keep it moving, man. Because, like I said, the cavalry ain't coming. You are your own cavalry, and you have to do the work along the way. You've got to do, like, you know what? I'm rowing my own canoe.
Mm.
I was thinking about the statement my mom says. I totally forget. It's something about love many, trust few, row your own canoe.
Mm. Mm. I like that. Yeah, somebody might jump in a canoe and it's just let it drift,
Right.
and
As long as it's downstream and not upstream, brother.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah, Michael, what's up, man? How you doing? Things are going good with him. His book is doing very, very well. So
That's great.
I'm happy. He's that one guy. Michael's like the morning. Well, let's go back when we were younger, right? There was things that were consistent. You always knew it was going to be there.
Mm.
Michael is like the morning newspaper, right?
Mm.
As soon as I open that door, it's going to be somewhere on that lawn, right?
Uh-huh.
If it's
Yep.
not on the front porch, it's going to be there. And that's what Michael Someo is to me. I know as soon as I put my phone on, something's going to be there from him, where I live and learn, or get reminded of something. And that's one thing I like about Michael Someo, is that he's going to be that morning newspaper for me as soon as I open that door.
No, and I love to hear that, and that type of stuff makes me so happy on the inside, because if you were able to have a groundswell and multiply that, it is something that is so critical this day and time
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. You mentioned all the things we're doing in the community, which is, we could spend a whole segment talking about that. It's the right thing to do, like just show up for people.
Yeah.
And sometimes sometimes the lack of being able to show up for yourself is why you can't show up for others.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I like about Michael. He always seemed like somebody that will show up for you. He'll show up, no doubt. And that is one hell of a trait. You're talking about top 2%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got it. And we talked about your book. His book is it's about his life, the life skills, and the way to adapt and unadapt to different things. And definitely can't wait. I'm seeing all little bits and pieces of it, of his memoirs, and but I can't wait. I need 500 pages of Michael Someo. You know what? That's what I need. And only because from page 1 to page 500, I'm definitely going to be impressed and know that my friend, I'm glad. I'm so happy that he's got his book going. And I'm extremely happy that are getting your book out there. And the reason why I say that is because there's never a bad conversation between us. All right. And I haven't heard 100% of what's going on in Coach's head. I haven't heard 100% of what's going on with you. But a book, there's going to be something in there that I didn't know. And then I'm able to kind of look and read and say, wow, I'm glad he did it. But there's no doubt in my mind, Coach, this is the first and definitely not the last.
No, I've already started lining up the other ones.
Yeah.
This is yeah, it's kind of life things you see along the way, and Listen, man, anything you can make a difference in someone's lives. That's what we're here. We're here to do the work to continue on this thing we call life
Mhm.
for others. Our expansion helps others. I think that can never be forgotten,
Yeah.
right? So your improvement makes a difference in the whole of society, right? Think about it. You raise a child, and this child grows up and they cure something,
Yeah.
versus you raise a child and you are so not self-aware of how destructive you are, and this child's coming and kicking your door in the middle of the night.
Hmm.
The two separate things, but they're one and the same.
Yeah. So the today something happened to me, right? And in fact, I got to step back, Marvin. Let me rethink before I mention. Just think of a spot in your life where you took a picture with someone,
Hmm.
and that picture has been around for a very, very long, long time.
Okay.
And so, where the exact spot where the picture is or it was taken, you revisit that spot.
Okay.
But the images of the people that were in that area wasn't in your what you're seeing right now, right? What you're not seeing, just picture looking at an area
Hmm.
and everything's there. The grass, the wall, the windows, the this, the that, but the people are not there.
Mm.
And that caused um, tears
Hmm.
in someone's eyes because the people wasn't in that picture.
Hmm.
That image of those people in that picture is so ingrained in my head that the words that I was told today, it was so lucid that I mean, it was so clear. And I was just like, bam, I started crying today
Mm.
because I had the picture in my head with the people, and then I had the visual on my phone of no one in that visual.
Mm.
Oh, man, uh, cried, and um, it's amazing. Um, and all I'm saying is that grief and death is something it's going to happen. And you mentioned that earlier today. But boy, the hurt that I was getting, the hurt was going through the waves, the telephone waves, through the cell phone, through the Wi-Fi, all that, boom, and hit me right in the heart today. I said, man, I don't ever want that person to think of the loss of the people in those pictures. And it's going to happen. And I'll know how to deal with it um, in my own way. But that was something deep today. Sort of like your insert you took send me earlier today. And I had that same type feeling. Kind
Hmm.
of could relate what you were saying. And I was also relating what the other person was saying earlier. Um, but tomorrow isn't promised, man.
No, it's not.
Mm.
No, it's and this is why sometimes it's about do better, be better. And that could be just individual interactions with somebody else.
Mhm.
it could be something simple. I mean, you don't have to make things complicated. I could sit here and talk all day about nervous system stuff and all this other stuff, but it boils down to, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so makes all different. It could be something simple. It's like you had an opportunity to enjoy someone you didn't, and now they're not here for you to enjoy them. I think about that.
Mm, yes.
Like, man, I remember growing up and when I would leave my grandmother's house, my mom picked me up. And my grandma would always walk all the way down to the gate to wave us goodbye from the front porch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, okay, yeah, well, in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to be able to do this soon. I'm going to be able to, in a couple of weeks, come back and you don't have that anymore, right?
Yeah.
So enjoy people while you can. Enjoy everything you can while you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got, man.
So true. So true. The this week I got interviewed by a great young man, Nathaniel Regal, and he's amazing with autism. That's the easiest way I can explain it to you. He's a college graduate, 2 degrees, and he's coming on my podcast next week. And
Nice.
so this young man, and I'm gonna put his name up here.
Okay.
There he is. There he is. That's Nathaniel Regal, and he interviewed me. But right, this is the crazy thing, right? This kid's trying to do something good on my end for me. He's interviewing me, and little did he know that the best thing I got out of the whole interview was him, Nathaniel Regal.
That's great.
I was like, "Oh my God, kid, you got me, man. You got like love at first sight."
That's great.
So he's gonna be on next week, and there was this it's a gentleman, I can't think of his name, but he has a PhD, and
Nice.
he had autism, and he has a podcast on Spotify.
Hmm.
And I used to follow him, especially when I was traveling back and forth, Mass, Rhode Island, and he was someone I would listen to. And the craziest thing is that Nathaniel reminded me of this guy, right? He has a beautiful family, lives out towards your way, and so I instantly thought of him. But Nathaniel is definitely on track to be such an amazing man, and in his very short life, he's accomplished some things that some people haven't accomplished at our age, right?
Oh,
And so I can't wait. I'll have him on next week.
that's great. Congratulations on Daniel.
Yeah, we got about 6 minutes, so I'm gonna let you take charge of our 6 minutes. What are we gonna do?
So the book will be out probably 30 days, 45 days.
Hmm.
It's fully written. It's
Yeah.
7 chapters. It's unpacking grief.
Wow. How would we get these books? How are you gonna get it distributed?
So I'm still working behind the scenes on a couple of distributors.
Okay.
So I probably announced that probably 3 more shows from now.
Okay.
But it'll be ebook most likely, and definitely ebook and probably paperback as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something that's very, very affordable for the masses. And I'm going to sell my feeling is 1 million impressions.
Hmm.
Don't ask me how.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes you don't need to know how, right?
No,
But yeah, the
that's
intention's there. So that's what it's about, man.
good. Um, definitely have to get mines out there. It's still in conflict, still in dispute over things. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take the manuscript and just get it out there to some other distributor. And
It'll happen in due time.
yeah, I'm actually not worried about it. Have many other things I'm doing, so the book is not something that I'm worried about right now. Everything is everything I'm focused on is the podcasting and setting up shows and giving people their flowers while they're standing.
That you
Um,
do.
yeah,
That you do. I mean, you know, that's why I think, to your point, I think this is why we get along so well because I see what you try to do, man. You're just present for people. I think it's incredibly important, man. You're not
thank
so, and what I gather from you is what people see is what they get. They get somebody that's authentic. And I think by and large, people crave that instead of wondering, well, what's somebody gonna do? This unpredictability sometimes with people. You don't have that. What you see is what you get. And that's extremely refreshing, my brother. So thank you for being you.
thank you. And uh, I can't. Yeah, I got a million words I could say about you. Talk about million impressions. Well, you definitely have done that with me since we met. Um, and I am so happy that we're doing this on a
Oh, I
week,
enjoy it.
weekly basis because it's living and learning. Learned some things today. And learned something last week and the week before that, and several years beyond that. We have definitely have been sharing our life skills with each other, and I definitely love it. And you're irreplaceable. Um, and the only thing that you and I had a conversation in front of these cameras, it was either in this spot right here,
Mm-hmm.
or it was in that spot over there, or over there. I just moved around, but I'm telling you, I learned in every area in this little man cave here.
Yeah, it
Um,
goes both ways, man. I mean, for
yeah,
real, definitely goes both ways, and it's what you do is great for people, man, because it's like I don't know, this is very therapeutic for me too, because you feel like you're talking about what's going on and all that, and so yeah, it's great, it's great.
yeah.
Appreciate
You
your
said
audience.
you said therapeutic. On Instagram, there was a basketball player there. Played on the shy. And he ended up getting killed on the porch. I forget his
Hmm.
name, but he said that some black men have their only therapy is the 45 minutes they're sitting with their barber.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, that's so freaking true, man.
yeah, yeah, man, yeah, absolutely. That's why I was telling you. I had to get rid of those schisms or
Hmm.
old ways of thinking and talk about this thing, man. Because men don't talk about it, especially black men.
Yeah.
No, I guarantee you're not going to find too many play. You're not going to find somebody on TED Talk talking about this who's a black man. Just not going to happen
Hmm.
because our own programming a lot of times is self-inflicted stuff, man. And listen, I was there.
Yeah.
It's like, hell, I'm not going to talk to anybody about this thing. I'm good. Leave me alone. That was my mindset. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
that was very destructive on my part.
Yeah. Um. How many times we have conversations in the room, by ourselves and just talking to the walls
Yeah,
for a good hour or so, not knowing that you know, if we had the privilege or if we were fortunate to have siblings in the other room, you know, they were listening every single step of the way, and they were like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't have any.
"Yeah,
I didn't have any
that's
siblings.
right, that's
Closest
right,
I had was an uncle. He's like my
yeah,
brother. He's like 3 years older. So and so yeah. I mean, I'm glad for folks who had their siblings around. Even
yeah."
though I'm sure time has got on your nerves, but
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing like a sibling, man.
No, it's a special thing. Yeah. All right, Coach. You are definitely one of the guys that I look forward to speaking to
I
every
appreciate it
day.
likewise.
Every day. But I am so happy and blessed that we have this every week.
That's right.
Sometimes you have to lose yourself podcast. Great title, great name. This episode is going to be placed on Spotify as soon as we're done. Definitely going to do that. My Spotify channel is there's a lot of episodes missing, so we're going to start off with this one and get us going on a weekly basis on Spotify. So
Cool.
hope you didn't make any funny faces because I may be using a still picture of you from this podcast.
Hey, man, I told you for everything's always a yes, man. Always start.
Yeah. All right, man.
Okay.
Next week, and
We'll go deeper into the book. Or
yeah,
anything else you have.
yeah. I can't wait. You never know what's going to spark us, So we're definitely going to be on point when it comes to something. Sometimes you have to lose yourself. Podcast. This is a great thing, and I will see you next week, brother.
Okay. Thanks, my brother. Appreciate you.
God bless, and give the daughter a hug for me, and
I will.
I'll talk to you in a few.
Okay. Later.
All right. Take care.